Riverside is one of 4 off-reservation boarding schools across the United States under the BIE, Bureau of Indian Education. We are the largest of those 4. The other 3, we have Flandreau Indian School in South Dakota, Chemawa Indian School in Salem, Oregon, and Sherman Indian School in Riverside, California. The other 3 schools, they are all 9 through 12 high school only. We are different in that we're bigger. A big part of that is because we have an elementary, junior high component to our school. So we start at the 4th grade. We have students from 4th grade all the way up through 12th grade. We're the oldest continually operated boarding school still in existence. Riverside's been continually in existence, in operation since 1871. So obviously with that comes a lot of history. So it's a really unique place in that we serve a really diverse student population. Close to 90% of our students come from out of state. A majority of our students stay on campus here, live in our dorms. We have students from usually about 80 different tribes represented within our student population. So we really have a diverse student population in terms of the differences in the tribes, the types of backgrounds the students come from. We have students that come from really remote reservation areas, and then we have students that come from urban areas. So it's a really unique setting for a school, and I mean it's a really good place to work and a really good place to go to school as well. Well, we're funded. It's through the Bureau of Indian Education, and we're federal funded. So we don't receive any state dollars from local and state department for our funding. So a lot of times, sometimes because we're a school in the state of Oklahoma, sometimes there's a misconception that we could be affected by the state budget cuts within the state of Oklahoma, which is not the case, which we're thankful for, because I have a lot of friends and colleagues, fellow administrators and teachers that work in public schools, and I know they're going through some struggles right now. So we're fortunate that we haven't had to endure the same struggles that they have as far as the budget goes. We're fortunate because we don't have to worry about cutting programs for our kids. We don't have to worry about being some of the I guess creative measures that some of the administrators and schools have to take to just provide the best quality of education for the students that they can. We don't have to be that creative in that way. We get to be creative in a way that we're fully funded to be able to provide for our students and provide extra activities for our students. So definitely in this day and age, fortunate to be a school that's within the BIE. Also, we've walked around just a little bit. Our facilities, we're in facilities that are we just finished up our 3rd year in these buildings, in this high school building, and the new dormitories. So, and I've been here long enough. I've been here for 10 years, so I got to see the change, the drastic change from the old facilities that we're in to what we're in now. And the other thing, with 3 years in the new facility, we've got to see the impact that it's had on our students, and not only our students but our staff as well. So I feel like they've that added level of comfort just being in new facilities where you're not having to worry about things like if you're going to have heat during the wintertime in your classroom and you're worried about your kids being cold to where they can't even focus. We don't have to worry about those things anymore. Even in the dorms, the same goes for the dorms. We don't have to worry about if majority of the kids had a hard time sleeping the night before because the air conditioning didn't work and it was so hot that they couldn't get a good night's rest. There's a lot of those things that have improved by us being in the new facilities that we're in now. There's a lot to me, and we do have students from that are local. We have students. This year we were right around 40 students that were local students, commuters that didn't stay in the dorms. We do run a bus route in Anadarko, and we run a couple SUVs that go kind of on the outskirts to pick up students who come to school here. And then we have students from different parts of the state. So we do have some students that are from Oklahoma. As far as the benefits for our students that go to school here, again, we're not having to be creative to just make it work pretty much. We're able to, one of the examples I guess would be, I know I have, like I said before, colleagues, teachers and administrators in public schools that talk about the high number of students in their classrooms. Teachers that are dealing with 25, 30 students. We've even had teachers that come here from the public schools, and once they see what their caseload is, they're like, wow, this is a lot less. This is nice. This is more manageable. I get to give my students more individual attention. Our teachers very rarely will have more than 20 students in the classroom. So the low class sizes, I think, is a big benefit for our teachers and our students, because there's more time and more room there to have that one-on-one attention, that one-on-one interaction. And for us here, relationships are big for us, for our staff, because we become their home away from home. We become their family in a lot of respects. Because they're here with us for 8 months of the year pretty much. So that's definitely a benefit for our students and for the rest of our staff, because a big part of our staff is our residential staff. So I think that lends to the ability for our folks to have that time to have the time to build better relationships with our students. And once you can do that, then you can you can kind of hold them to a higher level of accountability when there's that connection. When they know, if we're a teacher, if you're sitting there and you have 15 students in your classroom, there's a good chance that over the course of that school year, or even over the course of the first month you have them in class, that you're going to be able to connect with all those students. And after you make that connection as a teacher, then that's when you can start building that relationship. You can build with that student. You can set goals, hold them accountable, and not to say that it can't be done when you have a lot more students, but I think it's definitely more difficult if you were to have 25 or 30 students every class, So I think that alone, as far as the educational piece, is one of the big benefits that we're able to offer here at Riverside as a staff. The other thing is, back into the funding a little bit. We're usually able to provide our teachers with whatever resources they need to execute whatever curriculum they're responsible for, and to go beyond outside that. We can also provide professional development for our teachers to help them to grow. And so those things, there's really not a whole lot of restraints there for us. Supplies in the classrooms, that's not an issue. You read the papers, you hear different stories, you hear things all over of teachers at different schools asking for supplies. They've ran out of paper or whatever, and they need this much donated to get through the end of the school year. You know, it's tough seeing that as an educator, as a person that works in education, because you know there's a direct effect to the students. And that's one of the things that, again, we're fortunate here. We don't run into those same problems because, you know, like I said, we're not dealing with the same budget situation that the state schools are.